Hey, everybody, it's December 15th, 2029. You're back to the future, and you're watching Techness Tech Talk Tuesday. Hey, welcome, and thanks for joining us. This is just another Tuesday. I was kidding about the future. You're in the present, and you need to really admire that. So it's 7 o'clock again. It's time for some more shenanigans and take you through the news. We got 4 stories here today, and I thought we had 3. And Neil's like, nope, there's 4, bro. So yeah, kind of interesting. So let me pull those up. Boom. Okay, totally got it together. We totally got it together.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with Tech Talk Tuesday, this is where we try to do a roundup of the week's technology news and tidbits. Sometimes it's not news. Sometimes it's, did you know? And kind of bring it together for you in hopefully an easily digestible package. There's a joke to be made there. I'm just going to let it go. So let's go ahead and get started with our first. And it's around social media. And Neil, you've probably seen these all over Facebook, where people are saying, "Oh, put together your top 20 list and answer these questions, right? Like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite concert that you went to? What was the first time? Who was the first boy you kissed? Who was the whatever?" And then there's things like this one, which is kind of demonstrating the create your stripper name. So give me your dog's name, give me the street that you grew up on, so on and so forth. And so it's piecing these elements together. I know you know this, and I know this, but I'm not sure everybody does. You got to really think through these things. As this article from Lifehacker points out, you really got to think through, you're giving up all of your personal information that's commonly used as security questions, as backup, if you forget your password. Why is that a big deal? Neil, why is that a big deal?
That's a big deal because that's how you get hacked.
That is how you get hacked. So no longer do I have to guess your password. I may not even need to do like a 2-factor authentication. I may be able to bypass that because I know 3 key pieces of information, let's say, about you. I know your mom's maiden name, probably your dad's middle name, and the street that you grew up on. And why? Because you blasted it out to everybody to let them know what those things were without probably thinking what impact that might have to your security. It's okay. Everyone has done it, even me. But I quit doing this probably about 5 years ago when I kind of read an article, funny enough, about this. And I was like, yeah, maybe as nice as it is for everyone to know like what my top 3 favorite books are, my 3 favorite actors and things like that, these are common questions used for password recovery. I'm assuming you don't do anything like this, Neil.
I rarely post on social media, just out of principle. But yeah, I mean, I think younger Neil definitely did this. It's a pretty common thing. I still see my Facebook friends do it occasionally, and I think to myself, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's just a way for hackers to collect your data and then use it against you. It's not that hard to recover accounts with this stuff because this is your backup. So typically the way that things work is if you forget your password, like you can go into, okay, I forgot my password. And then you have your 2-factor authentication to make sure that you can do that. But the way to bypass that completely is these account recovery questions, typically. So if people have these answers and they just go in and be like, "Oh, cool, I know the email that you're using to log in here. Okay, cool. All right." And then, okay, these are your security questions. Let's go on their Facebook profile, see if they've answered any of these things. Social engineering. That's the main way that people actually get hacked is social engineering. It is not like hard computing or anything like that. It is almost always social engineering of some sort at some level, even with large tech companies.
Well, and this would be lazy social engineering. Like normally you have to trick the person. That's like intermediary social engineering. I call and say pretend that I'm from the gas company or from your workplace or whatever, from accounting. This is just late. I mean, like it takes nothing, right? Because you probably put this stuff out there because you have a public profile and you thought this would be great to share. I get it. Like, again, I'm not knocking anybody who's done it. I'm just saying, cut it out.
Well, and like I think the article even states that like it would not be hard to automate a process to do this, and I'm sure that they're already out there. Like just go scrape the web for things like this for this specific person, and then plug and chug it in, right? Like until it works. So I mean, protect yourself. This is an easy way to do it. Just stop answering those things or stop posting those memes. So.
That's right. Protect yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm sure Ice Cube said something like that.
Exactly like that. So yeah, I found this article here very interesting this week, and it's also in conjunction with another one that I'll talk about. So the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is requesting data from 9 different companies. These companies include Amazon, ByteDance, which is TikTok's parent company, Discord, Facebook, Reddit, Snap, which is Snapchat, Twitter, WhatsApp, and YouTube. So pretty much all of the big tech companies are all the like mainstays of the internet. And they are asking them to provide data on how they collect and use personal information provided by their users. And they have 45 days to respond to this. So yeah, basically the FTC is saying, how are you collecting this data and what the hell are you doing with this data? Which is super freaking cool and super good for us and our privacy. These are things that these commissions are supposed to be doing. So I'm happy to see that they are doing it. I'm happy to see that it was a 4-1 vote and not even a 3-2 vote on their committee to do this. And the only person that dissented was actually the commissioner, which shocker. In my mind, I know nothing about Noah Phillips, who is the commissioner, but it does not surprise me that for whatever reason the commissioner decided not to or to dissent. But yeah, so they even state, which is hilarious, in this a joint statement by 3 of the commissioners that actually voted for this. The digital products may have launched with a simple goal of connecting people or fostering creativity, but in the decades since, the industry model has shifted from supporting users' activities to monetizing them, which is exactly what has happened. And it says this transition has been fueled by the industry's increasing intrusion into our private lives. And this is something that everyone kind of knows, everyone kind of just accepts, but it is not a normal thing. It is not something that we should be letting these companies do. And it's really promising to see our government, particularly in the United States, finally kind of take action in this and say, hey, this is the first step. We need to know these things, which is how are you collecting the data? Why are you collecting the data? And then how are you using that data?
Actually,
really important.
I don't know that I'm even, I'll take a lighter stance on it. I'm okay with them collecting it, but I want to authorize that, right? Like I don't want it to be snuck out from underneath me. There's plenty of people who say, you know what, I'm willing to give up this information in the interest of automation, getting better results and things like that. But you need to know that you're doing it, right? And I think for me,
you shouldn't have to have like a law degree to understand that you're doing that. Like, because that's the thing is that like we, by using Facebook, by using Twitter, by using Instagram, have accepted the privacy policies and their terms of conditions, which gives them the rights to do this. So it's not like we haven't given them the right to do this, but I don't think any of us, when we signed up and like continue to just like accept the privacy policy, like say like, okay, let me sit down and read this 20-page document that I need a law degree to understand what the heck's going on, right? No one's doing that. So like that is the problem.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. So really it's interesting that there was any dissent against this, because this isn't an action against those companies. It's just a request, right? For their actual data and kind of a spotlight on their policies with no teeth. Like there was no like, and by the way, we're also going to do this. So what a weird thing to be against. In fact, you look at some of the results and some of the, I guess, reports back from these actual companies and from their spokespeople. They seem generally, right, pretty happy to provide this. And I think if they're doing things right, or mostly right, there shouldn't be an issue, right? So I'm excited to kind of see how this unfolds.
I am for sure excited about this.
Awesome. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay. You can hear it. Can you hear the gears grinding?
Oh, I can.
That's just my brain.
Get the gerbil going.
That's right. That's right. I gotta drop the cheese and get him going. So I assume gerbils eat cheese. I don't know. Can you tell I've never had a pet gerbil?
No, I can't.
Sad. So I found this little article, again, not really news per se, but I think it's kind of interesting. And it really piggybacks off of the prior topic about providing a lot of like personal information. So this is Amazon's launched this $25, kind of a flat fee, custom t-shirt service, which I first thought, do I really need a custom t-shirt service? But then I started thinking about the loads of t-shirts that I have upstairs and how some of them are short and make me look like a character from Dora the Explorer with like a nice skin belt, and like those need to be thrown away. Some of them are just a box, like just this like really huge box shape. Some of them are more tailored. Some of them tailored in a way that not so good. And so I thought, oh gosh, you know what? That's kind of interesting. So what they're doing here is you provide a couple of photos to them, and you go through kind of a process of saying, okay, well, here's what I like, and you can customize the shirt in so much as you can pick things like the neck, right? So it's like I don't like a V-neck because it shows off my gold chain too much. Just kidding. But you know, and some people like the different sleeves and things like that, right? So you have these different cuts or whatnot, and then they're actually using like a virtual body double, so to speak, based on your an algorithm that's kind of taking your photos and whatnot and matching you up against one of their models, so that you kind of have an idea how this thing's going to fit, and so that they can better tailor that t-shirt then to you. And they've got, I think, 3 different kind of feels for it, right? They got kind of a lightweight, a more heavyweight, fabrics and whatnot that you can kind of trade up. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cool, man. At first I was thinking, oh, would I really use this? And then, like I said, I thought about my catalog of shirts that will probably never be worn again, and maybe I will.
Yeah, no, I think that this is cool. I think that the technology behind it's pretty interesting. Building like a 3D model of a bunch of points that they're getting from photos and your measurements. I think that that's really neat. The article does address the privacy concerns regarding that because it requires you to submit the photos. Right. Amazon has come out and said that they delete them after it creates the virtual body double for you. And then it also noted that you can update or delete your size information at any time. So that's good from privacy concern. I do think that this is pretty neat. I think it's just kind of like the next step for Amazon. Because Amazon had like the Halo fitness device, just became widely available, which produces like a body fat percentage based off of like a full body selfie that you give it. So that's pretty neat too. But yeah, so they also had like an Echo thing a while back that basically offered you style suggestions based off like images that you give it. Which I think is just weird. But
you know what it reminds me? Have you ever seen the movie Clueless?
No.
was it Clueless? I think it was. She's rich, right? In this movie, and she has a mirror kind of thing where
Oh yes,
she,
yes.
yeah, where she's of like a virtual look thing, or actually, I
Mhm.
think maybe it was just on her computer. But you've seen the fitness like mirrors, and which I don't know anybody who has one, so I don't know if they really work that well or not. But man, it doesn't seem like that far off that you would have something to kind of I guess map it. In fact, one of the stories we're not covering is how Disney World was actually quote unquote photoshopping masks on people. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So it's like, if they could do that while you're on a ride to make it look like you were conforming to the rules, even if you weren't, why not give me a lookbook with my body? Maybe no, I don't really want to see that. A body double's good enough. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this is just another iteration of kind of this technology, and it just kind of makes sense.
Definitely does. Definitely does.
So more FTC fun.
Yes. So this is directly related to the earlier story with the FTC, in that the FTC is actually suing Facebook for antitrust reasons. Particularly its acquisition of Instagram and WhatsApp, as you can see in the title. It's really interesting that in this article, they actually say, I'm trying to find it. Facebook's CEO, Zuckerberg, actually basically admits that they are buying Instagram, Foursquare, and some other companies to give us a year or more to integrate their dynamics before anyone can get close to their scale again. Within that time, if we incorporate the social mechanics they are using, the new products won't get much traction since we already have their mechanics deployed at scale. Okay, that's a direct quote from an email that he sent to a CFO. So,
Marky Mark.
Yeah. And then within the hour, he actually sent a follow-up reply saying, I didn't mean to imply that we'd be buying them to prevent from competing with us in any way, which I mean, he just realized that he's like, oh shit, or shoot, like we just messed up here, or I just messed up here. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just insane. So this happened, or this was announced Wednesday last week. So we just missed it with Tech Talk. But here we are talking about it. This is very, very interesting because this is not the only thing that they have done. And particularly the case cites Facebook's decision to block Vine's friend finding feature once Twitter acquired them way back in the day. So yeah, I mean, there are other like anti-competitive and antitrust things going on here. But I mean, the admission of guilt there is just insane to me.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. I think it's easy, at least for me in the tech community. These are guys I look up to.
Right.
Zuckerberg. I mean, really, Bezos, Gates, obviously, right? Which thus far, I don't think he's tarnished his reputation. But Steve Jobs, even but you peel back the onion and some of this stuff, man. It's like, ooh, even Google, right? For a long time, they were like don't be evil was kind of like their credo, and then I mean they dropped it, and which I applaud them being so transparent about it. That it's like, it just kind of sucks, man, because it sucks to get too close to your heroes, I guess, and frankly, I don't want everybody reading my freaking emails too. They'd probably be like, floored. But when you're operating, this huge conglomeration of a company, whose emails are subject to things like Sarbanes-Oxley, they're going to record every single communication, and everything is kind of public record. It's interesting that he can be such a numbnuts sometimes.
Yeah. So I think that this is a really good. Hopefully this is the first step in a long series of steps to unwind some of the big tech things going on right now in the tech community that frankly does stifle creativity and competition. And so hopefully this leads to more things being unwound, more things actually not being monopolies in spaces. Because I really do think that there's a lot of innovation in our field and a lot of creativity that just isn't being utilized right now because we do just have some tech giants just kind of ruling over everything. So,
yeah, I'm 100% with you, buddy. I think that's a really great, I guess, assessment of the landscape.
Well, with that depressing news and exciting news, that's all we have for today on this edition of Tech Talk Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. If you want to read up on any of the articles that we talked about today, you can find them in the description below. And while you're there, how about you go ahead and give us a follow or subscribe? That way you don't miss any future editions of Tech Talk Tuesday. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So tell your friends. That way they can join you as well. And you guys can then have a conversation about the news. What a novel idea. If you guys have any questions about the articles we talked about or just technology in general, you can hit Matt or I up on Twitter. Our handles are below. His is the Matt Ray because he is the only Matt Ray. And mine is just Neil Tardy because I am Neil Tardy. But yeah, if you would like us to answer your questions live on the show, just let us know and we can do that, or we can answer them privately if you prefer. So, but we would love to do that. And yeah, so with that, we'll hit you up next week with another round of news articles and we'll see you then. So see you next Tuesday.